The small ship drifted through the darkness of space like a wounded bird. Its engines were broken. Its hull was burned and torn. Inside, Ambassador Velis held her breath and watched the scanner. She had traveled for 30 days through empty space, running from death, searching for hope. She was Tirani. Her people were tall and thin, with pale blue skin and large eyes that could see in the dark. They were peaceful. They had never built weapons. They had never fought wars. For 10,000 years, the Tirani had studied the stars, written poetry, and healed the sick. They believed that kindness was the highest virtue. Now they were dying. The Keth. Dominion had come to their worlds 6 years ago. The Keth were conquerors. They took what they wanted and destroyed what they did not need. They had burned 12 Tirani planets. They had killed billions. They had taken children as slaves. The Tirani had begged for mercy, but the Keth did not understand mercy. Velis had traveled to every great power in the galaxy. She had knelt before emperors and councils. She had shown them images of her burning cities, her dead families, her crying children. Every single one had refused to help. The Keth are too strong, they said. We cannot risk war for your people. We are sorry, sorry. That word meant nothing when your world was on fire. Now Velis was in human space. Humans were young. They had only been traveling between stars for 200 years. They were small and weak compared to the great empires. But they were her last hope. Her scanner made a sound. Ships were coming. Velis felt fear in her chest. If these were Keth ships, she was dead. She had no weapons. She could not run. All she could do was wait. The ships came out of faster-than-light travel in a flash of blue light. There were 3 of them. They were gray and angular, covered in weapons. On their hulls, she saw a symbol she did not recognize. A blue planet with a single star above it. Humans. A voice came through her communication system. It was a female voice, speaking in the common galactic language. Unknown vessel. This is Captain Park Jisoo of the Earth defense ship Defiant Star. You have entered human-controlled space. Identify yourself and state your purpose. Velis pressed her communication button with trembling fingers. I am Ambassador Velis of the Tirani Collective. I come in peace. I come to beg for help. Please, my people are dying. There was silence for a long moment. Then the voice came back, softer now. Ambassador, your ship is badly damaged. We are sending a shuttle to bring you aboard. Do not be afraid. You are safe now. Velis did not believe those words. No one in the galaxy was safe from the Keth, but she had no choice. She waited. The shuttle was small and fast. It attached to her broken ship, and 2 humans came aboard. They wore gray uniforms and carried weapons on their belts. One was a tall man with a serious face. The other was a woman with kind eyes. Ambassador Velis? The woman asked. I am Ensign Yunari. This is Sergeant Wang Junho. We are here to help you. Velis stood slowly. Her legs were weak from hunger and fear. Thank you. I did not expect kindness. Ensign Yunari smiled. You will find much kindness here. Can you walk? I can try. They helped her to the shuttle. The trip to the human ship was short. When the shuttle doors opened, Velis saw something that surprised her. A group of humans stood waiting, but they were not holding weapons. They were holding medical supplies. A tall woman stepped forward. She had short black hair and steady eyes. Her uniform had more decorations than the others. Ambassador Velis, I am Captain Park Jisoo. Welcome aboard the Defiant Star. She looked at Velis with concern. You look like you have traveled a long way. When did you last eat? Velis could not remember. 3 days. Maybe 4. Captain Park turned to her crew. Get her food and water. Call the medical officer. Give her a warm place to rest. She looked back at Velis. We will talk when you are ready. There is no rush. Velis felt tears in her eyes. She had visited 12 species. She had begged 12 governments. Not one had offered her food. Not one had asked about her health. They had listened to her words and sent her away. Why are you being kind to me? Velis asked. You do not know me. You do not know my people. Captain Park looked at her for a long moment. Because you need help. That is enough. They took Velis to a small room with a soft bed. They brought her hot food and clean water. A doctor came and checked her health. He was a young man named Kim Do-hyun, with gentle hands and a calm voice. You are exhausted, he said, and you have not eaten properly for weeks. But you will recover. Rest now. Velis ate the food. It was strange, but good. Then she lay down on the bed. It was the first soft bed she had touched in months. She slept for 12 hours. When she woke, Captain Park was waiting outside her door. Are you ready to talk? The captain asked. Velis nodded. I am ready. They walked to a meeting room. Lieutenant Kim Do-hyun was there, along with other officers. They sat around a table and looked at Velis with serious faces. Tell us everything, Captain Park said. From the beginning, Velis told them. She told them about the Keth Dominion. She told them about the first attack 6 years ago, when Keth warships appeared above her homeworld without warning. She told them about the burning cities, the screaming children, the parents who died trying to protect their families. She told them about her journey across the galaxy, begging for help. She told them about the empires that refused, the councils that looked away, the leaders who said they were sorry but did nothing. She told them that fewer than 2 million Tyranni were still alive, hiding on their last colony world. The Keth had found them. In 3 months, maybe less, the Keth fleet would arrive. And then her people would be gone forever. When she finished, the room was silent. Lieutenant Kim Do-hyun spoke first. His voice was tight with anger. These Keth. They attack people who cannot fight back. They take children as slaves. Yes, Velis said. They see us as weak. They see weakness as an invitation. Captain Park leaned forward. Her eyes were hard. How many of your people are still alive? Velis blinked. That was not the question she expected. Every other species had asked about the Keth. How strong were they? How many ships did they have? What would it cost to fight them? No one had ever asked about the Tyranni. Less than 2 million, Velis whispered. We were once 9 billion. Captain Park stood up. Her face was calm, but her hands were tight fists. Lieutenant, send a message to Earth. Priority 1. Tell the Defense Council that we have a situation. Tell them we need an emergency meeting. She looked at Velis. Ambassador, you are coming with us to Earth. You will speak to our leaders directly. Velis stared at her. You will help us? I cannot promise anything, Captain Park said. But I can promise that you will be heard. I can promise that we do not abandon people who ask for help. For the first time in 6 years, Velis felt something she had forgotten. Hope. The city of Geneva was beautiful in the morning light. Snow covered the distant mountains. The lake was calm and blue. Velis looked out the window of the flying transport and felt a strange peace in her heart. Earth was green and alive. It reminded her of her homeworld before the Keth came. We are almost there, Captain Park said. She sat beside Velis, wearing a formal uniform. The Defense Council is waiting. Are you ready? Velis touched the data device in her hand. It held all the evidence she had collected. Images, videos, records of death. I have shown this to 12 species. 12 governments. They all said no. Why would your people be different? Captain Park was quiet for a moment. We have a saying on Earth. The only thing necessary for evil to win is for good people to do nothing. Humans do not like doing nothing. The transport landed outside a great building. It was old and white, with tall columns and flags from many nations. Soldiers stood guard at the doors, but they saluted Captain Park and let them pass. Inside, the building was full of people moving quickly. Velis saw humans of many different colors and sizes. Some wore military uniforms. Others wore formal clothing. They all looked serious and busy. Captain Park led her to a large room with a curved table. Behind the table sat 7 humans. These were the leaders of Earth's defense. Velis could see it in their eyes. These were people who made hard decisions. A tall man with gray hair stood up. Ambassador Velis, I am Admiral Yoon Taeyong, Supreme Commander of Earth's military forces. Welcome to Earth. Please, sit. A woman with a gentle face smiled at her. I am Counselor Baek Soin, head of the Diplomatic Corps. We have read Captain Park's report. We are very sorry for what has happened to your people. Velis sat down slowly. Thank you for seeing me. I know humans are busy. I know you have your own problems. Admiral Yoon shook his head. Some problems are bigger than borders. Please, tell us your story. Show us what you have brought. Velis activated her data device. A holographic image appeared above the table. It showed a beautiful city with tall towers and flowering gardens. This was SciFiPrime, she said. The heart of our civilization. 20 million people lived here. It was a place of learning and art. We had the greatest libraries in the galaxy. She changed the image. The same city, but now it was burning. Bodies lay in the streets. Keth soldiers walked through the flames, shooting anyone who moved. This is what the Keth did in one day. 20 million people, gone. The council members watched in silence. Velis saw their faces change. She saw shock. She saw anger. She saw something she had not seen in any other council chamber. She saw tears. Counselor Baek Soin wiped her eyes. Those soldiers. They are shooting unarmed people. Children. The Keth do not see us as a people, Velis said. They see us as resources. The young and strong are taken as slaves. The old and weak are killed. It is efficient. She showed more images. Burning farms. Destroyed hospitals. Ships full of Tarani prisoners being taken away. A mother holding her dead child. An old man crying over the ruins of a library. I have traveled to every major power in the galaxy, Velis continued. The Meridian Empire said they were sorry, but they could not risk war. The Collective of Free Worlds said they would pray for us. The Neutral Accord said it was not their concern. She turned off the images. The room was very quiet. I came to Earth because I had nowhere else to go. You are young. You are small. You cannot defeat the Keth alone. I know this, but I had to try. I had to ask. Because if I do not ask, my people die in silence. And no one will remember we ever existed. Admiral Yoon leaned forward. His face was hard. How many Tarani are left? Less than 2 million. We are hiding on our last colony world. The Keth know where we are. Their fleet will arrive in 3 months. And the other species in the galaxy? They know this will happen and they do nothing? Velis felt bitterness in her throat. They are afraid. The Keth have destroyed species before. They do not want to be next. So they look away. They tell themselves it is not their problem. Admiral Yoon stood up. He was not a young man, but his body was strong and his eyes were fierce. He looked at the other council members. I have heard enough. I know what I want to do, but this is not my decision alone. This will put Earth at risk. This will cost lives. We must vote. Counselor Baek Soin spoke first. I vote yes. We help the Tarani. Another council member, a heavy man with a kind face, nodded. I vote yes. I did not join this council to watch innocent people die. One by one, they voted. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Admiral Yoon looked at Velis. The vote is unanimous. Earth will help your people. Velis could not believe what she was hearing. You will fight the Keth? For us? Why? What do you want in return? The council members looked at each other. Some of them smiled. We want nothing, Councillor Beak said. We are not doing this for trade or alliance. We are doing this because it is right. Velis shook her head. I do not understand. No species does something for nothing. There is always a price. Admiral Yoon walked around the table. He stopped in front of Velis and knelt down so he could look into her eyes. Ambassador, let me tell you a story. 200 years ago, humans were trapped on Earth. We had wars and famines and terrible suffering. Millions died because other humans looked away. They said it was not their problem. They were afraid. They did nothing. He paused. We learned from that. We learned that silence is the same as approval. When you see evil and do nothing, you become part of that evil. So we made a promise to ourselves. Never again. Velis felt tears running down her face. You would die for strangers? For people you have never met? We would fight for strangers, Admiral Yoon said. Dying is not the goal. The goal is making sure your people live. He stood up and turned to his officers. Begin mobilization. I want every available warship ready to move in 30 days. Contact our allies in the outer colonies. Tell them what is happening. Ask for volunteers. Captain Park stepped forward. Admiral, the Keth have over 500 warships. We have less than 200. Then we will fight smarter. We have faced bad odds before. Admiral Yoon looked at Velis. Ambassador, I need you to contact your people. Tell them help is coming. Tell them to hold on. Velis stood on shaking legs. I have a communication link to Elder Morath, my mentor. He leads our survivors. He will not believe me. Then let him see us, Councillor Beak said. Let him see our ships, our soldiers, our preparations. Let him see that humans keep their promises. Velis activated her communication device. A holographic image appeared. An old Tyranni with tired eyes looked at her. Velis, you are alive? Where are you? I am on Earth, Elder. The humans are going to help us. Elder Morath stared at her. That is impossible. No one helps us. Everyone has refused. Admiral Yoon stepped into view. Elder Morath, I am Admiral Yoon Tae-young of Earth. Your ambassador has shown us what the Keth have done. We are coming to defend your people. Hold on. Help is coming. Elder Morath was silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, he began to weep. Why? He whispered. Why would you do this? Admiral Yoon smiled. It was a sad smile, but also proud. Because someone has to. And because we refuse to live in a galaxy where good people do nothing. The news spread across the galaxy like fire. On 1,000 worlds, on 1,000,000 communication screens, beings of every shape and size watched the same message. Earth was going to war. Earth was sending warships to defend the Tyranni. Earth was challenging the Keth Dominion. Most species did not believe it. Humans were young. Humans were weak. Humans had only 200 warships. The Keth had conquered species 10 times more powerful. This was suicide. On the bridge of the battleship Iron Will, Commander Minjae stood with his hands behind his back and watched his crew prepare for faster-than-light travel. The Iron Will was one of Earth's newest and most powerful ships. It carried weapons that could crack a moon. It was a ship built for war. Commander, his communication officer said, We are receiving a message from Space. They are demanding to speak with you. Put it through. The main screen flickered. A Cath appeared. He was tall and covered in dark scales. His eyes were yellow and cruel. He wore golden armor that marked him as a diplomat. "I am Envoy Kethril of the Keth Dominion," the alien said. His voice was cold and proud. "I bring a warning from the High Command. Turn back your ships. The Tyranni are property of the Dominion. Any interference will be considered an act of war." Commander O did not move. "The Tyranni are people, not property. They ask for our help. We are going to help them." Envoy Kethril laughed. It was an ugly sound. "You are fools. The Keth have destroyed 100 species. We have burned 1,000 worlds. Your little fleet is nothing to us. We will crush you and take your planet. Your children will be our slaves." The bridge was silent. Every crew member was listening. Commander O smiled. It was not a friendly smile. "We have heard threats before, from enemies much stronger than you. We are still here." "They are not." The envoy's eyes narrowed. "You have been warned. When the fires burn on your home world, remember that we offered you a chance to walk away. And you remember this," Commander O said. "When you face human ships in battle, we will not stop until every Tyranni is safe. We do not surrender. We do not retreat. We do not abandon our friends. Think about that when you see our fleet coming." He cut the communication. The screen went dark. His weapons officer, a young woman named Choi Yuri, let out a breath. "Sir, that was intense." "The Keth respect strength," Commander O said. "We showed them strength. Now they will think twice before they fight us. Will it work? No, they will still fight. But now they know we are not afraid. That matters." Across the galaxy, on a space station that belonged to no one, observer Silith watched the human fleet gather. She was a member of the Neutral Accord, a group of species that refused to take sides in galactic conflicts. Her job was to watch and report. Nothing more, but what she saw confused her. 187 human warships were forming near Earth's outer colonies. They were being loaded with weapons and supplies. Soldiers were saying goodbye to their families. Everyone knew they might not come back, and they were doing it anyway. Silith contacted Earth. She asked to speak with someone in charge. To her surprise, Counselor Beeksoyan answered personally. "Observer Silith," the human said. "How can I help you?" "I am calling on behalf of the Neutral Accord. We have seen your preparations. We are concerned." "Concerned about what?" "About your survival." Silith chose her words carefully. "The Keth Dominion has destroyed species far more advanced than humanity. They have more ships, more soldiers, more weapons. Your fleet cannot win this fight." Counselor Beek nodded slowly. "You are probably right. Then why? Why are you doing this?" "Because the Tyranni need help. But you will lose. Your people will die. Your planet may be destroyed. This makes no logical sense." The human woman was quiet for a moment. When she spoke, her voice was gentle but firm. "Observer, let me ask you a question. When the Keth attacked the Tyranni, where was the Neutral Accord?" Silith felt uncomfortable. We do not interfere in conflicts. It is our policy. The Tyranni came to you for help. Did they not? Yes, but we cannot help every species that faces difficulty. We must protect our own people. And now the Tyranni are almost extinct. 2 million left from 9 billion. Does your policy feel good to you? Does it help you sleep at night? Silith did not answer. She could not answer. "We are not doing this because we expect to win," Counselor Beek continued. "We are doing this because we could not live with ourselves if we did nothing. Every species in the galaxy looked at the Tyranni and decided they were not worth saving. "We disagree. What do you hope to gain?" "Nothing. We hope to save innocent lives. That is all." Scylla stared at the human on her screen. She had studied many species. She had seen greed and fear and calculation. She had never seen this. A species willing to risk everything for strangers without asking for anything in return. "You are very strange," she said finally. "We know." Counselor Beak smiled. "But we are also very stubborn. The Keth will learn that soon." On the bridge of his command ship, War Commander Dreth received reports from across the Dominion. The human fleet was almost ready. They would arrive at the Tyranni system in 15 days. "How many ships?" Dreth asked. "Less than 200, his officer reported. "Our fleet has 512. Dreth laughed. "These humans are insane. They must know they cannot win. Perhaps they hope other species will join them. No one will join them. The galaxy is afraid of us. They know what happens to species that challenge the Dominion." Dreth looked at a map of the Tyranni system. It was a simple place to defend. One planet, one star, limited approach routes. The Tyranni survivors were on the surface, helpless and waiting to die. "This will be easy," Dreth said. "We will destroy the human fleet and then finish the Tyranni. After that, we will visit Earth. They will pay for their arrogance." His officer hesitated. "War Commander, our intelligence reports suggest that humans fight differently." "Differently how?" "They do not retreat. Even when they are losing, they continue to attack. Some reports suggest they are willing to destroy themselves to destroy their enemies." Dreth waved his hand. "Desperation tactics. The mark of a weak species. They will break when they see our full fleet. All species break eventually." But somewhere deep in his mind, a small voice whispered doubt. No species had ever challenged the Dominion to defend strangers. No species had ever risked extinction for people they had never met. What kind of species did such a thing? Back on Earth, Ambassador Villis stood in a military base and watched human soldiers prepare for war. They checked their weapons. They loaded supplies onto shuttles. They hugged their friends and wrote letters to their families. She approached a group of young soldiers. They could not be more than 20 years old. "You are going to fight for my people," she said. "You might die. Why?" A young man looked at her. His name tag said Seo Jinwoo. He had a kind face and sad eyes. "My grandmother used to tell me stories," he said, "about a war on Earth long ago. Her village was destroyed. Her family was killed. She survived because strangers helped her. Soldiers from another country. They did not know her. They did not speak her language. But they saved her life." He smiled. "She told me that kindness travels in circles. Someone saved her, so I should save others. That is why I am here. To complete the circle." Velis felt tears in her eyes. "Your grandmother sounds very wise." She was. She died last year. But I think she would be proud of me today." Velis looked at all the young faces around her. These humans were not warriors by nature. They had families and dreams and fears. But they were going to fight anyway. For her people. She did not understand it. But she was grateful for it. Across the galaxy, the human fleet began to move. 187 ships jumped to faster than light travel. They carried 50,000 soldiers. They carried Hope Dot, and the Keth Dominion waited. The human fleet came out of faster than light travel in a flash of blue light. 187 ships appeared in the darkness above SciFiPrime. They spread out in battle formation. Weapons ready, shields powered. On the bridge of the flagship Eternal Dawn, Admiral Yoon Tae-young looked at the enemy fleet. 500 Keth warships blocked the path to the planet. They were bigger than the human ships. Their weapons were larger. Their armor was thicker. The numbers did not look good. Admiral, his tactical officer, reported, "The Keth fleet outnumbers us almost 3-1. Their flagship is the Crimson Destroyer. War Commander Dreth is aboard." Admiral Yoon nodded. "Open a channel to all ships. I want everyone to hear this." The communication officer pressed a button. "Channel open, sir. This is Admiral Yoon to all ships. Today we fight for people we have never met. Today we risk our lives for strangers." Some of you may wonder why. The answer is simple. Because no one else would. Because the Tyranny asked for help and the galaxy turned away. Because we refuse to be cowards. He paused. "The Keth think they will crush us. They think we will break and run. They are wrong. We did not come here to die. We came here to win. Fight hard. Fight smart. And remember what we are fighting for." The channel closed. Across the fleet, soldiers checked their stations. Pilots climbed into their fighters. Engineers made final adjustments to weapon systems. War Commander Dreth sent a message. His face appeared on the Eternal Dawn's main screen. He was smiling. "Admiral Yoon, you have come a long way to die. Surrender now, and I will make your death quick. Continue to fight, and I will burn your planet after I finish here." Admiral Yoon looked at the alien commander with cold eyes. "Come try." Dreth laughed and cut the channel. The battle began. The Keth fleet moved forward like a wave of death. Hundreds of weapons fired at once. The space between the two fleets filled with light and fire. Human ships returned fire. Their weapons were smaller, but faster. They targeted enemy engines and weapon systems. They did not try to destroy the Keth ships one by one. They tried to cripple them, to slow them down, to create confusion. Captain Park Jisoo commanded a strike group of 12 fast attack ships. Her orders were to break through the enemy formation and attack from behind. "Full speed," she ordered. "Stay close together. Do not stop for anything." Her ships dove into the Keth fleet. Enemy weapons fire exploded around them. 2 ships were hit immediately. They kept flying. "Target the flagship's engines," Park Jisoo said. "If we can disable Dreth's ship, the rest might lose coordination." They raced through the chaos of battle. Keth fighters chased them, firing constantly. A 3rd ship exploded. Then a 4th. But the others kept going. On the Eternal Dawn, Admiral Yoon watched the battle unfold. The humans were taking heavy losses. 30 ships were already destroyed or disabled. But the Keth were suffering too. Human tactics were working. Crippled enemy ships drifted uselessly. Confusion spread through the Keth formation. "Sir," his officer said, "the Iron Will is taking heavy damage." "Commander, O is requesting permission to ram the enemy cruiser blocking our left flank." Admiral Yoon closed his eyes for a moment. Then he opened them. "Permission granted." Tell him thank you." The Iron Will turned toward the massive Keth cruiser. Its engines burned bright. Commander O's voice came through the communication system. "All hands, abandon ship. Head for the escape pods. I will handle this myself." Crew members ran for the pods. Some refused to leave. They stayed at their stations. They would die with their captain. The Iron Will hit the Keth cruiser at full speed. The explosion lit up the battlefield. Both ships were destroyed instantly, but the left flank was open. Human ships poured through the gap. They attacked the Keth from the side. More enemy ships fell. The Keth formation began to break apart. On the surface of SciFiPrime, Ambassador Velis watched the battle through sensor feeds. She saw human ships dying. She saw explosions and fire. She saw brave people sacrificing themselves for her species. Elder Morith stood beside her. Tears ran down his old face. They are dying for us, he whispered. Why? Why would they do this? Velis could not answer. She did not understand it herself. She only knew that it was happening. Strangers were giving their lives so the Tyranny could survive. It was the most beautiful and terrible thing she had ever seen in space. Captain Park Jisoo's strike group reached the enemy flagship. Only 4 ships remained from her original 12. But they were enough. Fire everything, she ordered. Missiles and energy beams slammed into the Crimson Destroyer. The flagship's shields flickered. Its engines sparked and died. War Commander Dreth roared in anger. All ships, target those humans. Destroy them. Keth ships turned to attack Park Jisoo's group. She knew they could not escape. But that did not matter. We got him, she said. The flagship is disabled. The fleet will be confused now. That is enough. Her tactical officer, Lieutenant Kim Do-yoon, looked at her. Captain, we can still try to run. No, we stay and fight. We buy time for the others. She smiled at him. It has been an honor, Lieutenant. The honor is mine, Captain. 3 Keth warships closed in on them. Park Jisoo's ship, the Defiant Star, was badly damaged. Half her weapons were gone. Her shields were failing, but she did not retreat. The Defiant Star charged at the nearest Keth ship. It was a suicide attack. Everyone on the bridge knew it. Park Jisoo opened a channel to the Admiral. Eternal Dawn, this is Defiant Star. The flagship is disabled. Continue the attack. We will hold them as long as we can. Admiral Yoon's voice came back. Jisoo, thank you. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten. Make sure we win, Admiral. That is all I ask. The Defiant Star hit the Keth warship. Another explosion. Another bright light in the darkness. The battle continued. Human ships kept fighting, even when they were outnumbered, even when they were damaged, even when victory seemed impossible. They fought with a fury the Keth had never seen. One human captain crashed his dying ship into a Keth cruiser. Another used her last missiles to protect a transport full of wounded soldiers. A group of human fighters flew into a Keth battleship's main weapon, destroying it before it could fire. The Keth were shocked. They had fought many species. None of them fought like this. None of them were willing to die so easily. War Commander Dreth watched from his disabled flagship as his fleet fell apart. His officers reported heavy losses. Human tactics were causing chaos. Ships were colliding with each other, trying to avoid suicide attacks. What are these creatures? He demanded. Why do they not surrender? No one could answer him. The battle lasted 6 hours. At the end, 89 human ships remained. But the Keth fleet was broken. Over 300 enemy ships were destroyed or disabled. The rest were running. War Commander Dreth ordered retreat. His voice was filled with shame and rage. All ships, fall back. Fall back to Dominion space. Admiral Yoon watched the enemy flee. He felt no joy. The cost had been too high. 98 ships lost. 15,000 soldiers dead. But the Tyranny were safe. He opened a channel to the planet. Ambassador Velis, the battle is over. The Keth are retreating. Your people are safe. On the surface, Velis heard those words and collapsed to her knees. Around her, Tyranny survivors began to cry. Some laughed. Some prayed. Some simply stood in silence, unable to believe what had happened. They were alive. Against all odds, they were alive because strangers had died to save them. Admiral Yoon looked at the battlefield one last time. Broken ships drifted in the darkness. Some were human. Some were Keth. All of them were graves now. He thought of Captain Park Jisoo, Commander Oh Min-jae, all the brave soldiers who had given everything. We did it, he said quietly. We saved them. but the cost would stay with him forever. 3 days after the battle, the first human medical ships landed on SciFiPrime. They brought doctors and nurses. They brought medicine and food. They brought blankets and clean water. They brought everything a dying people needed to survive. Admiral Yoon Tae-young came down on the last shuttle. His arm was in a sling. A piece of metal had hit him during the battle. The doctors wanted him to rest, but he refused. He needed to see the people he had fought for. The Torani refugee camp was a sad place. Millions of people lived in temporary shelters. They had lost everything. Their homes, their families, their hope. But today, something was different. Admiral Yoon walked through the camp. Torani watched him pass. They did not speak. They did not move. They simply stared at this human who had come so far to save them. A young Torani girl broke away from her mother and ran toward him. She was small and thin. Her eyes were too big for her face. She looked up at Admiral Yoon with wonder. "Are you the human leader?" she asked. Admiral Yoon knelt down so he could look at her. "I am one of them." "What is your name?" "Lyra. That is a beautiful name." "How old are you, Lyra?" 7 years. My father died in the war. My mother says the bad people killed him." She tilted her head. "You fought the bad people?" "Yes, we did. Why?" It was the same question everyone asked. Admiral Yoon thought about all the answers he had given. About duty and honor and refusing to do nothing. But this was a child. She needed a simpler answer. "Because you needed help," he said. "And helping people is the right thing to do." Lyra nodded slowly. Then she stepped forward and hugged him. Her small arms wrapped around his neck. She held on tight. Admiral Yoon felt tears in his eyes. He had seen so much death, so much pain. But this moment, this small act of trust from a child who had lost everything, meant more than any victory. "Thank you," Lyra whispered. "Thank you for saving us." Her mother approached, looking embarrassed. "I'm sorry, Admiral. She should not bother you. She is not bothering me." Admiral Yoon stood up, still holding Lyra's hand. "She is reminding me why we came." Ambassador Velas found him an hour later. She looked tired but peaceful. The weight of hopelessness had left her face. "Admiral, I do not know how to thank you. Words are not enough. You do not need to thank us. We did what was right. 98 ships, 15,000 soldiers. They died for people they never met. How can I ever repay that debt?" Admiral Yoon looked at her. "Live, rebuild, remember them. That is all we ask." Velas nodded. "We will build a memorial. The names of every human who died here will be written in stone. Our children will learn them. Our children's children will learn them. We will never forget. That is enough." 2 days later, Observer Silith arrived. Her ship landed near the human command center. She walked through the camp with wide eyes, seeing humans and Torani working together, building shelters, treating wounds, sharing food. She found Admiral Yoon and Counselor Beek Soyan meeting with Torani leaders. "May I speak with you?" she asked. Counselor Beek nodded. "Of course. What brings you here?" "The Neutral Accord sent me. They wanted a first-hand report." Silith paused. "What I have seen has changed my understanding of many things." "How so?" "We believe that species act only in self-interest. We believe that no one helps strangers without expecting something in return. We believe that the galaxy is cruel and cold and uncaring." She looked at the camp around her. "We were wrong." Admiral Yoon raised an eyebrow. "Does this mean the Accord will help us?" "I cannot speak for the entire Accord, but I can tell you that several member species are reconsidering their positions. Your actions here made them question their assumptions." "Good. Questions are the first step toward change." Silith hesitated. There is something else. The Keth Dominion is angry. World Commander Dreth has returned to his homeworld in shame. But the High Command is planning revenge. They want to attack Earth. Counselor Beak's face grew serious. How long do we have? I do not know. But they will come. They cannot allow this defeat to go unanswered. Admiral Yoon smiled. It was a tired smile, but also a confident one. Let them come. We will be ready. You have lost half your fleet. How can you fight them again? Because we must. Because we will not live in fear. Because surrender is not in our nature. Silith shook her head. You are the strangest species I have ever studied. We know. 1 week later, Ambassador Velis made a galactic broadcast. Every species that had refused to help her now watched as she spoke. Her voice was calm but strong. Her words were simple but powerful. To the people of the galaxy, you know who I am. You know what happened to my species. For 6 years, we begged for help. We visited every great power, every council, every alliance. All of you refused. All of you said you were sorry but could do nothing. All of you looked away while we died. She paused. I do not say this to condemn you. I understand fear. I understand self-interest. I understand the desire to protect your own people. But I want you to know what we have learned. Images appeared behind her. Human ships in battle. Human soldiers landing on SciFiPrime. Human doctors treating wounded children. Human and Tyranny working together to build new shelters. The humans came. They did not ask what we could give them. They did not demand payment or alliance. They simply came because we needed help. They lost 98 ships. They lost 15,000 soldiers. They sacrificed everything for people they had never met. Her voice grew stronger. We asked for peace. We received warships, not to destroy us, but to protect us. The humans answered our plea with fire and blood and sacrifice. They proved that compassion is not weakness. They proved that standing up for others is not foolish. They proved that the galaxy does not have to be cold and cruel. She looked directly at the camera. Perhaps it is time for the rest of you to learn what humanity has always known. That protecting the innocent is not a burden. It is an honor. That helping strangers is not a risk. It is a responsibility. That the measure of a species is not how it treats its friends, but how it treats those who have nothing to offer in return. She stepped back. We will rebuild. We will survive. And we will remember. The humans saved us. Now it is time for the galaxy to decide what kind of place it wants to be. The broadcast ended. On Earth, in the city of Geneva, people gathered to watch the message. They saw Velis speak. They saw the images of their soldiers. They felt pride and sadness mixed together. Admiral Yoon Tae-young watched from his hospital bed. His wound was healing slowly, but his heart was full. They had done something good, something important, something that mattered. On SciFiPrime, children played in the evening sun. Human and Tyranny children together. They did not know about politics or war or galactic empires. They only knew that they were safe, that someone had come to help them, that the universe was not as dark as they had feared. Lyra, the little girl who had hugged Admiral Yoon, sat beside a human boy named Cha Sang-ho. They drew pictures in the dirt. Spaceships and stars and smiling faces. What do you want to be when you grow up? Sun-ho asked. Lyra thought about it. I want to help people. Like you helped us. Sun-ho smiled. That is a good thing to be. Above them, the stars shone bright and cold. Somewhere out there, the Keth were planning revenge. Somewhere out there, other species were watching and wondering. But here, on this small planet, under these unfamiliar stars, something new was beginning. A friendship between species. a bond built on sacrifice, a hope for a better galaxy. The humans had come with warships. They had brought peace, and nothing would ever be the same.